North American sales. I'm just so glad to be able to be here tonight. I was just with Russ right now, and I want to let you know about his commitment. The gentleman is in the office working tirelessly. He's still there at the office. I just left the office. I'm now here at my home office, and I'm wanting to make sure to take each and every one of you, especially the brand new people, through a powerhouse home-based business presentation brought to you by our company, Rain International. And, I've been in this industry now for over 20 years. I've been able to generate billions of dollars in sales success. So when I look at what we have here with Rain, I've got a very high level of expertise in this industry, especially home-based business, showing people how to go from where they're at to where they want to go. And that's really my challenge to you tonight. If you're brand new listening in, if you've been invited to view this webinar, is where do you want to go? Just think about it. And how are you going to get there if you're going to go there? So a lot of folks end up settling in life as opposed to getting exactly what they want. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to go for it in this lifetime. You've only got this one life. You want to make sure that you live it to the fullest, and you want to limit the amount of regrets that you have in your life. And so what our company's been able to do is put together an opportunity, a platform that will empower each and every person that participates with our company to reach the level of financial success that they want. There's no ceiling here. There's nobody that can hold you back. Anything that you want to do, you can do with our company. Now, there's three types of people when it comes to making income with our company. There's some people that just want to supplement their income. There's other people that want to replace their income. They don't want a job anymore. And there's other people, they want to go for it and hit financial freedom to where they have residual income coming in that is at least a six-figure residual income coming in on an annual basis. And a lot of folks want to go for a seven-figure annual residual income. There's nothing wrong with that. So this particular industry that we're going to talk to you about tonight through our company can provide all of that. So Rain International, we are the world leader in seed nutrition. So I'm going to share with you how we're able to take the concept of seed nutrition, break it down to you understand what is seed nutrition, and show you how it relates to being able to enhance your life from a couple different areas. Now, number one, let's get into talking about health and wellness. Paul Zane Pilzer is the #1 economist in the world. He says that this here with health and wellness is the next trillion-dollar industry. There's going to be 10,000 millionaires created just through health and wellness through a 10-year period, and we're right smack dab in the middle of that run of the 10-year period. Now, Rain, we have the right leadership to capitalize on the health and wellness industry. This mega trend, and it's a trillion-dollar trend, we've got the right leadership. Our president and founder, Byron Belka, has well over a decade of experience in health and nutrition, showing people how to have financial success in direct sales. So he's a phenomenal leader, came out of the field, and really has a heart for each and every person that's starting their business. He's well versed at building a home-based business. He became an expert at it, and now he became so great at it, he became the president and founder of this company. Casey Whitaker, another one of our partners here, is the co-owner of Orb6 and also a co-owner of Rain International. He's our VP of Global Support. He really runs operations for us on a global basis and makes sure that our software systems are second to none. So we've got that key component in place. Our manufacturer, we have a very strategic relationship that nobody else in the industry has with the manufacturer. We've got it that puts us in a decided advantage like none other. We've got two powerhouse investors that are financiers, Paul Hickey and David Dane. Paul Hickey there on the right, David Dane there on the left. These investors run $800 million and $1 billion hedge fund, respectively. So we've got great financial investors, and they put their own money into Rain as far as backing this company. Myself, I'm here to provide elite training, again, generating billions of dollars of success. I've helped create some of the top active money earners, so not just people that have done it before, but that are actively some of the top active money earners in the world. I think 15 out of the top 100 I've trained and have been a part of my teams. I've been able to do so because I became an expert at learning how to build home-based businesses. And so what did we do with this leadership? Well, in our first full year, we did over $10 million in sales with our company, over 20 million in 2013, over 30 million in 2014, and on pace to hit 50 million in 2015. So we've already proven that we know how to do a tremendous amount of success. So we've already done over $100 million in sales. But what we got to do is talk about a couple of major challenges that we face. Very important that we talk about some major challenges that we face. We've got two big ones, financial challenges and health challenges. And I believe that everybody can relate to those two. So what about financial and health challenges that we need to really recognize? Well, we got to get knowledge. You know, people die without knowledge. So we've got these humongous challenges and problems. Now, what's the key to solving these challenges and problems? We've got to identify the problem, can't ignore the problem, then we got to solve the problem. So those are three things that you got to do in order to have success anytime you've got a challenge or a problem. How many of you have had at one time or another financial or health challenges or both? Well, you got to identify, you got to not ignore it, and you got to solve it. So how do we solve it? We got to get some financial knowledge. We've got to figure out what the problems are. What is the problem? The major problem is debt. You know, people in the USA especially should be living the American dream, but for most people, it's turned into a debt nightmare. You know, we've got foreclosures. Every 3 months, 250,000 new families enter foreclosure just in the USA alone. And we've got people listening in globally here. You can relate to this. This is happening globally, not just in the USA. Credit card debts went over $800 billion, right? Did you know that it's almost doubled in the past decade? That the average household's carrying over $5,000 in credit card debt? Student loans has now passed credit card debt. It used to be the credit card debt was the big one, and student loans was coming up in second. Now student loans is over $1 trillion that's owed. Over $1 trillion for people trying to get education. And we got bankruptcies, repos, medical bills, and more bills. So we know that there's a problem. We just can't ignore it anymore. Because the more we try to cover it up and pretend like it's not there, or try to go get more credit to deal with it, we get further and further in the hole. How many can relate with that or know somebody that can? So Robert Kiyosaki, he talked about making money, to be able to bring this to light on, you know, exactly how you can make money and what can solve the problems. Well, first you got to understand these four quadrants that Mr. Kiyosaki talked about. He talked about being an employee, where you have a job and you exchange time for money. Then you've got self-employed, where you basically own a job and you're exchanging time for money. There's a lot of people listening to me right now. You might be self-employed, and you know what I'm talking about. Like if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Let's put it in real straightforward terms. As an employee, you don't go to work, you don't get paid. That's the left side of the quadrant. He said financial success resides on the right side of the quadrant, where you get involved in big business, where you own a system, where you have people helping you make money. Now, isn't that cool that we can have people? So a lot of times when people hear big business, they think it takes big money to get in big business. No, it doesn't. Especially in our industry, you can just literally get started on a shoestring and start incorporating the efforts of other people and start working a system like we give you, and then you can start making money off of the efforts of other people. And then what about being an investor, where you own investments, where your money's making you money? Now imagine your life if you had people and money working harder for you than you were working to make money. Well, that's what we do here at Rain, and we make you realize what's going on with the money. 97% of the population shares in only 3% of the money on the left side of the quadrant. So if you're employed or self-employed, you ever been wondering, how come I just can't get ahead? That's because you're only participating in 3% of the overall money. How can you get free if 97% of the population is trying to grab 3% of the money? Well, look at the other side. The right side of the quadrant, 3% of the population controls 97% of the money. So just by being a part of Rain, we will put you in the category where you can now participate in 97% of the money. That's just a no-brainer. If you had a choice in choosing between 3% of the money or 97% of the money, We know that everybody will look at that and go 97%. Then you got to get on the right side of the quadrant. We're not telling you that if you have a job to immediately quit your job. We're saying you can build part-time from the right side of the quadrant and set yourself free and do what the 3%ers are doing. Now you have to start making your own decisions. And that's what 3% of the people do. They use other people's ideas, other people's efforts, and other people's money, you see. But they make a decision to not have to do it their own self, while 97% of the population uses OPO, other people's opinions. So if you're going to use other people's opinions who don't have financial success, and you're going to listen to that, you're going to end up in the same boat. That's the decision I had to make about 20 years ago. I looked around at everybody around me. How were they doing financially? I looked at mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. And I said, you know what? Every one of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. And most of them are broke. If they miss 2 or 3 paychecks, they're going to go into complete survival mode. So let me start listening to people who have what I want. That's what this industry of direct sales does. So the key here is, if you want to own your life, do you want to own your life? Big question. Do you want to own your life? Everybody's going to say yes to that. Then you have to own a business, and you got to build a team. You have to own a business and build a team. Those are the 2 things you're going to have to do in order to own your life. See, Robert Kiyosaki said the richest people in the world look for and build networks, while everyone else looks for work. So we're involved in this tremendous industry of being able to build networks. Now, to build a network, we should first understand how distribution works, which is, physically satisfying the demands for products and services, so for goods and services. Real simple. Products get made at a manufacturer. Manufacturer sells the product to a national distributor. Most people think that a manufacturer sells to customers. That's rare, if at all. They sell it through a chain of distribution. National distributor, they'll sell it to a regional distributor who sells products to a local distributor who sells product to a retail store. And then as customers, we go in and spend our money at the retail store. And most people don't realize that around 80% of the profit gets caught up in middleman's markup. So all these middle people, they get caught up. And so what we do is cut out, you see that big red X there? We cut out all the middlemen. And we position people like you with our company, Rain, which is the manufacturer. And instead of the 80% going to middlemen that are only just moving the product around or getting involved in advertising, you become the advertiser. And so we show you how to become the middleman through our company, where most of the money is made in marketing. It's been a middleman. So what's the solution? Rain shows you how to build a business. So that's part 1. Remember, we talked about finances. We talked about health. So part 1, we will solve that problem for you, and we'll show you how to build a business. Now let's go to part 2 about health. It's just some health knowledge. We got 2 major challenges that we face with health. Challenge number 1, inflammation. Do you know that inflammation is humongously, it's just massively causing problems? It's the root of nearly all diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, depression, cancer, skin disorders, and allergies, and many more. It's number 1. Inflammation is our biggest challenge from a health perspective. And I asked the doctor a couple weeks ago, we were doing a live training, a gentleman that sees patient after patient after patient. I asked the doctor, I said, doctor, what percentage of the population is suffering with problems with inflammation? He said 99.9%. He didn't even hesitate. So that's health challenge number 1. Health challenge number 2 is bad oils. Most people don't even realize that. They're not even thinking about it. We consume bad oils every day through drugs, cosmetics, vitamins, plastics, detergents, etc. They're all petroleum-based. We absorb bad oils through our skin. We eat, breathe, and absorb bad oils every day we take showers or we bathe. It's in the chlorine. Without good oils, your body has no choice but to use the bad oils, which cause many diseases. Trans fats are simply bad oils. Everybody's becoming more and more aware of the problem with trans fats. They clog arteries. Why? It's bad oil. Can you imagine putting a big clump of oil in a pipe, it's going to clog it up. Bad oils we're finding are really like poison. Our meats today are loaded with hormones and chemicals that are all petroleum based. Fish oils have high toxicity from mercury, PCBs, dioxins. Supermarket oils are chemically processed and added with polar compounds, chemicals, preservatives, just to get, better color or add to shelf life. So the question is, when did you ever feed your body its good essential oils? Because in order to get the bad oil out, listen carefully, you've got to put good oil in. Most people never think about it. So where do you get these good oils? We're going to talk about that. So Rain was created to solve these two major problems with finances and health. So we've identified the two problems. Now we can't ignore the problems. Remember that? And now we got to solve the problem. And that's what Rain was created to do. So how do we do this? We looked at mega trends like herbs. We looked at the herb trend, billions of dollars spent on herbs. Pills and capsules, billions of dollars. Essential oils, billions of dollars. Super juices, billions of dollars. These are all part of categories. So we said, look, let's look at those trends. Now, how can we transcend the trend? What about if we created our own category? So we're the first company in the world to focus on seeds. Why do we focus on seeds? Because it puts us on the cusp of an entire category, which makes us have the potential to have a wave of momentum that can take us to billions of dollars in record time. Seeds are the source of all nutrition. Seeds are the source of all nutrition. Seed nutrition is the greatest breakthrough in the history of nutrition. Think about a 100-foot tall oak tree. Just visualize it for a second in your mind. 100-foot tall oak tree. Isn't it amazing to think about that oak tree started out as a seed? All the powerhouse DNA for that oak tree to reach 100-foot tall was in that seed. The powerhouse DNA was literally setting in that seed. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you, that Rain, we have the pharmaceutical grade of the seed technology, the seed nutritional breakthrough. We've got certifications where we have spent tons of money bringing in third parties to go research. And look, we're WADA certified, NSF, GMP certified with many other certifications to prove that we've got the most clean, most powerful form of this technology. Our products are dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, low-carb, low-calorie, all-around superfoods, no GMOs, paleo-approved, and hyperallergenic. So all the things that people are looking for. What's the big trends you hear out there? Well, people want dairy-free. How many times do you see people say, oh, I can't have dairy? Or then you hear people going, oh, gluten-free, got to be gluten-free, right? Oh, we want it to be vegan. We don't want any animal products in it. We don't want any of that. Oh, it's got to be non-GMO. We can't have genetically modified organisms in the product. Oh, it's got to be paleo. So all the mega things that people are talking about, where do you find that? In the seed. So it's really revolutionary. I got just a little bit of background noise on the other side. So if we have anybody else on the moderator, just want to make that aware. Please mute your phones. So this is powerful when you think about it. So we've got 3 products that were created to solve the problem. And we're going to add many more. These are just 3 powerhouse SKUs that we have. But it's not going to stop. We've got Core, which is created to cleanse the body. Soul, our #1 seller, which was made to replenish the body. And Form, which is a meal replacement shake, is made to build the body. All of them based upon seed nutrition, seed technology. Now, our #1 selling product, Soul, what's it created to do? Provide healthier skin and hair, support the immune system, natural sustained energy, greater clarity, mental clarity. How many of us can use getting that fog off of our brains, right? Helps to combat free radicals, joint support. A lot of people have aches and pains. That's that inflammation talking to your body. Well, why not feed your body super nutrition so that your body can do what it does best, which is heal itself? So our products are not meant to treat, cure, mitigate any type of diseases. Our products are super nutrition because we have a philosophy that the body is a miracle and it will heal itself if you feed it properly. So that's incredibly important. And what's some of the key ingredients? Black raspberry seed, black cumin seed, which has been known to cure everything except death. That's what the prophet Muhammad said. It can cure anything but death. I mean, that's not us. That's somebody else saying that. The Chardonnay grape seed. Unbelievable. And when you combine all the seeds together, then you get a powerhouse seed. A powerhouse product. Now we use D-ribose 5-carbon sugar. That's what that C stands for, but next to that 5. It's 5-carbon sugar. Why do we use that? Because it's instant energy without blood spikes. So we don't get the sugar spikes in your blood. So a lot of folks that are sensitive to sugar, they don't have an issue typically with our product because the sugar is already turned into, it's already in its natural energy state. When you have table sugar, right? So if you just regular sugar, that's 6-carbon sugar. So the body has to go to work and break it down to put it into 5-carbon, which is what creates the sugar spikes in the blood. So that's a good informational piece to always understand. You need 5-carbon sugar in your body for natural energy. Well, we just put it right there in this product. So you have natural energy along with these powerhouse combinations of seeds. Now, Brunswick Labs, which is the #1 third-party laboratory testing facility, they went and did a study on our products and found that in 1 2-ounce pouch of our Rain Soul product, that the auric value, now the auric value, this is what combats free radicals. Most people ask all the time, what's the problem with free radicals? Free radicals really are kind of like, those are like cancer cells that cause all kind of issues in the body. And there's 5 main free radicals. And our product is one of the only products that we've been able to find, that Brunswick Labs has been able to find, that combats all 5 of these nasty radicals, free radicals. So we've got to really understand the power in this particular product. So if you just take a couple of pouches of Soul a day, you're getting 17,980 auric value when the USDA recommended auric value is 7,300 that you should be getting from your fruits and vegetables. I got a question for everybody listening. Do you eat your daily recommended fruits and vegetables? Do you? 99% of the population, that's no, you don't. And I've been guilty of that many years. So what about getting what you need through a little 2-ounce pouch? Just ingenious when you think about it. Powerful. Everybody knows they need their greens, but who's going to take the time to eat a ton of greens? A few people. They understand the power of it. So they'll go get their greens. They'll go blend it up and get that. You see the people with the blenders, they'll get the kale, they'll get things like wheatgrass and spirulina and all those things, and they'll blend it up. But what about a 1-ounce pouch? A convenient 1-ounce pouch. You just tear the top off the pouch, you squeeze it in your mouth, and you got a condensed greens product that includes kale, aloe vera, wheatgrass, spirulina, black cumin seed, cranberry seed, milk thistle seed, dandelion, and chlorophyll seed. All right there in a 1-ounce pouch. What's the benefit? 21,700 auric value. Core has 3 times the comprehensive antioxidant protection of the most consumed fruits and vegetables. So the most consumed fruits and vegetables that you could get, Core is going to outdo those fruits and vegetables about 3 times. 21,700 auric value as opposed to 7,300. It's just phenomenal, this product. What about a meal replacement? So where you're not really even adding more money to your budget, now you're just replacing a meal. And I always suggest that everybody replace, especially if you try, I should say, 8 out of 10 people are overweight. So we know we have a weight problem in the world, especially in the USA. 30% of the people are obese. So I say, look, you got to do something about that. We can't just stick our head in the sand and go, okay, we're not going to deal with people being overweight. We want to start tackling this, but most people think it's such a daunting task. Well, look, we make this thing simple. Use our other two products, but then you want to add to it form. Why? Just replace one meal a day at least. Just get one meal replaced per day. And you're going to get only 1 gram of fat through this product. You're going to get 5 carbs only per serving. So you got your low carb there. You're going to get 4 grams of dietary fiber, so you need that fiber. It's only less than 1 gram of sugar, but you're going to get 21 grams of protein. That's muscle building right there. You're going to get your iron, energy, 18 amino acids, and 14 of them are critical for longevity. There's 14, actually there's 12 key amino acids that your body has to have in order to have longevity, a long life. We've got them in that product. We use sacha inchi seed, pea protein seed, hemp seed, chia seed, cranberry seed, and pumpkin seed. So this is one of the very few products that you're going to find that's all based upon seed protein. I think it's one of its own kind. Powerful. And giving you that promotion of energy and fuel muscle, right? Fuel your muscles so you get better performance from your muscles. Support healthier body mass, repair and support lean muscle mass, suppress appetite naturally, increase muscle density, promote healthy weight, and support triglyceride and blood glucose levels already to a normal range. So this is it's just a phenomenal product. So let's think about it from a health perspective with our product line. We're the solution, because not only are we going to show you how to live a healthy financial life, but what about a healthy life physically as well? We're the solution. So by solving the financial and health challenges that most face, that presents us with an incredible income opportunity. So we put our compensation plan. So I want to bring your mind back to that 50%. You know, remember when we talked about being a middleman and we said that up to 50% that's available there that we pay out to people like you. So instead of us paying advertisers, newspaper, television, radio, we'll pay you to talk about the product. So you got 7 ways to earn with our company. 7 ways. We have a preferred customer retail program, first order bonus, a first order bonus match, dual team commissions, dual team check generation match, executive rank leadership bonus, and a lifestyle bonus. So some key compensation plan examples to make sure you get this. It runs like this. Preferred customer program. Very simple. You got some people that you're going to turn this product on to, and they'll want to join the business. You have some other people, they'll just want to be a customer. They'll want to pay retail. You got some people saying, look, I'd rather get it at a discount if I can, so they just give us some basic information. They sign up as a preferred customer. They put their order on auto ship, and every time they get a box or any one of our products, so those 3 products I share with you, anytime they get one of those products, then simple, you're going to get $20 every time. So the average customer is probably going to take a couple products per month. That's what we're finding. The average customer uses about 2 products a month. So the average customer is worth around $40 to you. So think about it. If you just had 5 boxes or 5 of our different products going out during the course of a month, that's an extra $100. 10 products that are on auto ship with the preferred customer, it's an extra $200. If you got 25 preferred customers getting 1 product or a total of 25 products, period, that's an extra $500. But what if between all your preferred customers, say you have 50 preferred customers getting 2 products each, that's a total of 100 products. That's 20 times 100, that's an extra $2,000. And our product comes with a risk-free money-back guarantee for a full refund. Now, we make it very strong that you can get your products free. So you can join our company. And then if you just build what we call RAIN partner team. So imagine that person there in the middle, that's you. And then you get 2 other people that you sponsor, and they get at least on one of our products every month on auto ship. They get 2 other people who get their products every month on auto ship. Now your 1 box is free. So you get like a $65 product credit. You can do that 4 times. So you can get, every time you get 2 to get 2. And everybody's on at least 50, you're going to get a $65 product credit. So that means you can earn up to $260 a month just in free products. That's more than enough for your own personal consumption. You can probably use a couple of boxes for yourself and sell the other two, and then not only get it for free, but then turn it into a profit center just with the Rain Partner Team. So we show you how to get the products for free. So RPT, Rain Partner Team, that's 2 to get 2, and your product's free. Another way we talked about is our first order bonus, kind of like a fast start program. So anytime somebody decides to get started with the business, so I've got 4 options here, A, B, C, D. So check this out. Somebody gets started with the basic pack. That's just one product. That's one box. Your first order bonus is going to be $20. So you introduce them, you get $20. If they pick option B, you get $40. If they pick option C, $7.60, you get $120 of that. If they pick option D, $12.99, you get $200 of that. That means if you just sold one of each of those packs per month, that's an extra $380. But remember, I talked about a first order bonus match. That's anybody you personally sponsor. When they sell packs, you get paid a 10% bonus off of what they sell. So if you just sponsored 10 people, each one of them just sold one of each of those particular packs during the course of an entire month, that'd be an extra $950 bonus for you just by your people making those sales. Powerful. Now, what gets people really excited about our compensation plan is our dual team bonus based on the power of 2. So say you get started, and then you introduce 2 people that want to go build a business with you. Now, listen to me. You don't need a lot of people to do this. You need a couple in the beginning. And then as you begin to get your confidence, you can add more and more. So a lot of people think, I need a whole bunch of people. But look over here on the left side of the screen where it says number of months in one column, and then Rain Partners. Rain Partners are people that join the company. We call them our partners. They're distributors, right? Say the first month you get 2, and then the next month those 2 get 2 new partners. And then the third month, those 4 get 2. Then you got 8 in the 4th month, 16, 5th month, 32, 6th month, 64, 7th month is growing now to 128, 8th month, 256, 9th month, 512, getting more excited, right? 10th month, 1,024, 11th month, 2,048. So December the 16th, 2016, this time next year, what if you just duplicated 2 on that 12th month? There'd be 4,096 partners there. Add all those up and say December 16, 2016. You'd have 8,190 partners on your team. So you'd have a left team and a right team, because half of them will be on your left team, half of them will be on your right team. So that'd be 4,095 Rain partners per team. If everybody just got one box, say that box of soil, our number 1 product, which people say, what's the key to soda? I say, man, this is great at crushing inflammation. You know, and inflammation really can help your body. It's not, I mean, reducing inflammation can just help your body tremendously. What if everybody got one box, right? That would be 50 CV. So they're going to pay around $65 or so on auto ship, right? $65 here in the USA, different pricing around the world, but $65 here in the USA. You get 50 commissionable volume points with that one box. So if you got 4,095 on each team doing 50 CV, that's 204,750 CV per team. Then we're going to pay on your lesser team or 5% of each team. So just to make everything easier, we'll just take 10% rather than 5 plus 5. So 5 on each side, we'll just go look at one team, give you 10%. 10% of that would be $20,475 that month. And that's simple theoretical example. Now there's no guarantees of income. I know when people see that kind of money, they get all like, wow, is that too good to be true? No, it's true if you do it, right? But you're not guaranteed of doing that. We're not showing you that to improperly entice you or anything like that. We just want to show you the power of our compensation plan and really have you sit there and go, this is based upon the power of 2. If I just get 2 people, so that means you don't have to go sponsor the world. You better find just 2 good people and let them duplicate. Then you continue to add on from there. But this whole thing is driven by 2. Then we talk about our generation check match bonus. So say all of a sudden you ended up going more than just 2. You sponsored, or you had 10 people on your first generation, right? The first generation means people that are qualified at least at the bronze level. They build an organization. They're doing at least $1,500 in their lesser leg volume, right, in the course of any week. And you go out there and you begin to start building up teams and they start growing. Say you got 10 people in that first generation who is earning at least $1,000 a month. Well, we're going to pay out a total of 10,000 because 10 earn 1,000, 10,000. That's the company paying that out. You're going to earn on average around 10%. We pay. It's been running between 8 to 13% depending on the month. We guarantee a 50% payout. So sometimes, we've got 38% that pays out on the other portions of our compensation plan, and there's 12% left over. Sometimes there's 35% over here, and all of a sudden there's over here. And sometimes there's 40% paid out, and there's 10% over here. So let's call it a swinging range here. But we do an average of, say, 10%. That's an extra $1,000 a month for you. So what about in your second generation? If you're 10, they all help 10. Start just earning $1,000 a month in that second generation. So that would be paying out a total of $100,000 in commissions from the company, but you'd earn around 10% of that, which is $10,000 that month just in the check match. Now this bonus is the most powerful of all bonuses. Let me show you why. Look at this third generation. Because if those 100 help 10 each, that's 1,000 people that's just earning around 1,000 a month. We're not talking about anybody going crazy. Just 1,000 a month. The company would pay out in that example $1 million, which we've done several times, many times. We do it a lot. So you would earn around 10% of that, which would be about $100,000 a month. So that's where people, when you hear people in this industry that become millionaires, is because they typically have helped a lot of people in their team earn some good money. So $1,000 a month for a lot of people, they could change their household. It might not be record breaking, but I tell you what, it could keep people out of bankruptcy. It could pay car payments. It could pay mortgage payments, rent. It could change people's lives. So if you just go help people make some good extra supplemental money to change your life too. Can you see that? And this goes on for 7 generations. I'm not going to keep putting those numbers down there because it becomes stupendous, the potential here. But I can tell you, our president's goal is to pay out to somebody or people $1 million a week in commissions. That's what this compensation plan was designed to do. So that's why I say we got anywhere from somebody that just wants to supplement their income, making 2 to 3, maybe extra $500 a month, to people that don't want a job anymore. So maybe they're making 40, 50,000 a year. They want to replace that. And they just want to be their own boss. To people who want to have financial freedom and would like to become a millionaire and be able to have a residual income, executive style income coming in. You know what? That's available all the way across the board. And I showed you that through our compensation plan examples. Now what I want to talk to you about is how do you do this? So, some of you are thinking maybe like me. You got to remember, I was like you listening to a presentation for the first time. And so I can remember going, well, how does it really work? And then, I learned that scientists have proven that we only retain 7 to 10% of what we hear verbally. It's called verbal recall. So what RAIN does is we provide you with 100% of the correct information from the beginning. So we give you a back office, we give you a training site. If you go over to training.rainintl.com, training.rainintl.com, we are loaded on that site with training, teaching you about different angles, different philosophies, different aspects of how to build a business. And then I'm putting together an entire super streamlined presentation of training, so presentations and training, to really help condense the learning curve for our people here in RAIN. So you got 100% of the correct information. So it doesn't matter who invited you or who's sponsoring you. You're all tapped into 100% of the correct information. So that's extremely important when you think about the power of our company is really based upon the power of us educating our RAIN partners, our distributors. And we get testimonials of success stories all the time from our products, from the business. It just doesn't stop. So they come flooding in all the time. People have used the product, get these powerful testimonials. People that start building a business. We've already created, multiple millionaires in our company. It's already been created. And that's why we're like, wow, look at the potential here. Anyone from, a few people that can make, tons of crazy money because they want to work that hard, to, the masses in our company being able to supplement their income, to get products at wholesale pricing and have life-changing products. It's the key. But you got to remember now we're coming to decision time for you. So everybody's got to pay close attention here. Because if you want to own your own life, That's my challenge to you right here, right now. Do you want to own your life? It's yours. Nobody tells you what to do, when to do it. You own your life. Then you have to own a business and you have to build a team. You remember that? So you have some options for financial success that I want to bring to your mind so you can really understand how important this time is. Are you looking for your job to be the key to your financial success? Doesn't happen. 97% of the people that have jobs, 97% of the population don't try to work a job, and they end up broke at the age of 65. Maybe you want to inherit the money, small chance. Maybe you want to win a lottery, small chance. Maybe you're looking to be a celebrity, professional athlete, movie star. For most people, it's just small chance. Not saying you can't do any of these, but it's just really limited your chances. So the key is to own a successful business. That's a great financial success option. Now, you can try to start a traditional business because you only got 3 options for business. So I'm going to give you an A, B, and a C. These are your 3 options for owning a business. Traditional business, cost on average about $250,000. You got to deal with the headaches of payrolls, taxes, rent, overhead, all those crazy things that it takes to go build a business that nobody was taught in school how to do. So that's why 85% fail. Who taught us how to build a business? It just didn't happen in school. We know that. 14% break even, 1% makes a profit. So for that risk, for most people, it's not an option. So then you got people that'll turn to a franchise, like McDonald's. Most successful franchise in the history of the world is McDonald's, right? Dunkin' Donuts. Both of those cost you $1.5 million. Why? They got a successful system. But for most people, it's too expensive, right? So that's not really an option for most people. It's too expensive. So what's left? Well, the experts say the best option is network marketing. Why? Low startup potential for high gain, and like the franchise system, which is so successful because they create a duplicatable system of success that people can understand. You got to pay a lot for it. Rain has a similar type success system. So you don't have to worry about product research, development, manufacturing, warehousing, employees of high startup. When you look at people like Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, right, Paul Zane Pilzer, all these wealthy people say the number one option for the average person to have financial success, they need to go run to network marketing. All of them have said if they had to start over again, they go start network marketing. But the key is timing. Position is everything. And there's a load of people on this, listening to this webinar tonight. And we got 2 legs that run off the top of this company, and everybody just keeps building, right? So the person that invited you on this call, they got a left team and they got a right team. So it works like this. You get started today, you'll be on either their left or their right, and they're not going to stop building. So if they continue to build, after they fill up their left or their right, which might already be filled, they got to go find the next available empty spot. And then after that spot's filled, the next available empty spot under that has people that could be coming in your team. So that's why I tell people, you better pay attention. If you're excited about this, you don't want to take a lot of time to contemplate, consider, evaluate, to discuss. You want to get in. Because if you decide to wait, there could be a team already growing, and you end up below on the bottom of that team as opposed to on the top of that team. So when we're done with this webinar, you need to tell your sponsor, give me the sign-up link right now. Whoever invited you, give it to me right now. Because opportunity is going to just keep moving. It doesn't wait. We're not going to stop doing these webinars. We're not going to start talking. We're not going to stop talking to people. We will eventually get to people even that you know. That's a guarantee. It happens every time. I've been doing this for 20 years. Some people go, I need to think about it. And then all of a sudden, the next day, their brother or their sister or their aunt or their uncle or their cousin gets invited by somebody else, and they get in the system, and they're calling them going, hey, I got something I'm going to show you. And you saw it first. Happens all the time. So you got 4 options to get started. I've already mentioned them before, right? Remember the basic is $120. You get 1 product, you get 1 business in it. You can earn up to $1,000 a week. You get a first order bonus of 40%. Anytime you sell a pack, you're going to get 40% of the volume. You don't get a generation check match. Option B, kind of like for the small business builder, $225. 3 products instead of 1. Get 1 business center, can earn up to $1,000 a week, 40% first order bonus, no generation check match available there. So then you got more of the business-minded person. They say, look, I want option C, Mid-level builder, 760. You get 11 products, 3 business centers. You earn up to 1,500 a week instead of 1,000 a week potential. 50% instead of 40% first order bonus. And then you get a 20% generation check match for 3 months. On top of this pack here, you don't have to buy any more product for 3 months. So you buy it, and you got 3 months that you have built in qualifying volume to keep you qualified for commissions. That's what's awesome with that pack. Option A and B, you got to always have at least 50 in volume every month. That's just your personal consumption anyway, right? But you already are pre-buying that with this particular pack here. Option D, which is for the real serious-minded person that wants to get after this thing, don't want to leave any money on the table from the beginning. That's $12.99. You get 19 products, 3 business centers, earn up to $4,000 a week. So you see the difference there? You more than double your weekly earning potential because that's a promotional pack. You get a 50% bonus instead of 40%, and then 3 levels of a check match for 6 months, and then 30% instead of 20%. So remember we talked about that generation check match was averaging around 10%? You can double that or triple that with the bronze or the gold pack. And the gold pack, you don't have to spend any more money on products for 5 additional months, so a total of 6 months. You don't have to spend any more on product. You're already qualified for the remainder of those months, and you're getting paid as a gold right away. So this is a major advantage. It would typically take you 5,000 in your team volume on your lesser leg to be a gold. It would typically take you 1,500 in lesser leg team volume to be a bronze. These are just shortcuts to get you into profitability quicker. Awesome. Got a simple 4-step system as we close our webinar out here. You want to pay attention to this. It's very simple, very simple. Number 1, you got to get started, you got to get committed. You pick your pack and commit to building your rain business for at least a year, right? You say, I'm going to build this thing, I'm going to stay in here, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to change the direction of my finances. That starts with getting started. You got to get a pack, get your ID number. You got to get committed. Number 2, you got to be a product of the product. Use the rain products, gain a testimonial. Start creating a little testimonial book. You're going to start noticing as you develop customers, you start developing team members. You're going to start getting all these great testimonials coming in. Start tabbing them, start documenting them. Build a team. Create a list of your contacts so you can launch your business. Some of these contacts you'll approach from a product standpoint, some from a business standpoint. The easiest way for you to sell your products is take half of the contacts that you have in your cell phone, right? Just take half of them and pretend like they're not really your friends. So say you had 200 people in your cell phone. So say half of them are not really your friends, only half of them are. So that's 100. Take half of the half, which is 50, focus on them for the products. Take the other half, focus on them for the business. The ones you focus on for the products, just call them up and say, look, I just got started in my nutritional business, and I need some help getting started. And I'd like for you to try out a box or 2 of my product one time at retail. If you like it, I'll show you how to get it at wholesale from now on. If you don't like it, I'll never ask you to buy anything from me again. Can you do me a favor as my friend? Can you get started with at least a box or 2 one time? So let's just say those 50 people, right, that you're talking to for products, say half of them are not even your friends, not really your friends. Because friends are really going to help you out starting your business, right? They buy at least a box. So say that's just 25 there. Well, our top package, our gold package, only has 19 products in it. So if 25 people just took 1 product and they paid you retail, number 1, you're going to make a 30% profit on your money from selling the product. And then number 2, you don't have enough product. You'd have to reorder right away and start making more profit. That's a good problem to have. Then you take the other half of the people, we just start focusing on them getting started with the business. Go find your easiest 2, then go work on your hardest 2. So there's always a couple of people that'll do what you do. Go talk to them right away and go get in this business, man. We do the same things together all the time. Get in here. Get one on your left team, one on your right team. That way you're qualified to get those dual team commissions right away. And now go work on your hardest 2. Sometimes your hardest 2 might be your easiest 2. Never know. Depends on your center of influence. Number 4, pay attention to the training. We got a rain cycle that you can start learning. That's why if you go over to training.rainintl.com, you'll start learning how our rain cycle works. And it's just more in-depth on daily activities, things you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. So you'll learn how to earn money while you'll be earning money while you're learning to do the business. So you'll be learning the business, and you'll be making money while you're learning. So you're earning while you learn. So here's what we got to do. You got to choose your path. So I'm assuming you see it, and it makes sense to you, because I don't know. Anytime I've talked to people about this, almost everybody I know says, "Hey, I'm ready to go." I just got a text right now from a gentleman I met on a plane last week. So I was on a plane on Friday, met a gentleman on Friday. He just sent me a text. I told him about the business. He says, "Listen, all right, I'm ready to do the bronze pack." So he's picking number C. He's picking letter C. And he says, "I want to upgrade shortly after that." All it did is just show him the business, show him opportunity. So now he's got to get him connected up, and he's running with the business. So you got to get in so we can welcome you to our company. You can start working on changing your life. You can start getting those things that you want that we talked about in the beginning. None of those things that we really want are coming without us doing something. There's got to be some different actions that we take to get different results. And the actions that we need to take is we need to start building a business. The thing that they avoided on purpose, in my opinion, training us in school to do, which is how to build a business. Because we know that people that have successful businesses have freedom. So when you think about how the system was set up, does the system really want you to have freedom? If you work a job, you're not free. You are literally attached to somebody else telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You are told when to go to work, when you can go on vacation. It's a whole different game when you're on your own business. You start owning your own life, and all that comes down to choose a path, and that begins your journey. And remember where you could be 1 year from now if you just duplicate it too. Remember that? Imagine sitting here with around 8,000 other people on your team a year from now, just because you duplicated two. And none of those two are coming unless you do number one. You got to get started. So whoever invited you on this particular webinar is ready to go to work with you and help you and support you and turn you on to all of our training systems. I'm here as your global master trainer. I'm documented for forever. So I'll show you. I'll be in here with you. I have a financial vested interest in your success, me and our other partners here with our company. So on behalf of all of our ownership with our company, our partners, on behalf of our staff, I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this particular presentation, understanding that you are a critical part of what we're doing because we're growing, and every time somebody else joins it, they are helping with that growth, and we don't take that lightly. That's why we're going to be serious about you getting what you want out of life, because we know that gets us further where we want to go. So it's a win-win. And guess what? Now it's time to make it rain. Get together who invited you here, and let's get you started. Bye-bye.